This week on Charger Bulletin News, the campus community mourns an esteemed professor. The third annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration and Recognition Award takes place. The university recommences masking, and the dance team makes their competition debut. Right here on Charger Bulletin News. Welcome back to Charger Bulletin News. My name is Elisa Broche.
And my name is Nick Amico. Let's dive into this week's stories. We begin today's broadcast with unfortunate news. Dr. Kento Yasuhara, beloved university professor in the Department of Psychology, recently passed away on January 11th. Dr. Yasuhara was recognized for his successes in the integration of mental health studies and the criminal justice system. Notably, he has written in the Journal of Forensic Psychology Research and Practice in Criminal Justice Behavior, and has done research within the National Institute of Mental Health. His successes as both a clinical and forensic psychologist have created strides in these fields of study. Since joining the university community in 2013, he has certainly left his mark on those with whom he has crossed paths. Dr. Yasuhara was also mentionably a member of the university's curriculum committee, and his high levels of involvement on campus will be missed. In a message to the university community from Interim Provost Nancy Savage and Psychology Department Chair Alexandria Guzman, they said, quote, "Join us in honoring Dr. Yasuhara's legacy and the far-reaching impact he made at the university and on the lives of countless students. Let us also take solace in the many memories we have of him and his infectious personality as we keep his family in our thoughts during this time," end quote. Dr. Yasuhara is survived by his wife Clarice and the rest of his family who are requesting privacy at this time. We remind staff and students that counseling and psychological services are available for anyone seeking grief counseling and can be reached at 203-932-7333 or at caps@newhaven.edu.
This past Wednesday, January 25th, the university held their third annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration and Recognitions Awards ceremony. This event doubled as a way to honor the civil rights activists while also recognizing members of our campus community for their efforts to uphold our values of diversity, equity, inclusion, and access and belonging. The theme for the event this year was "This is Our Hope," celebrating hope and achievement for the future. A total of 4 Martin Luther King Jr. Vision Awards were granted to faculty, staff, and students. The faculty recipient was also Associate Dean of the School of Health and Sciences, Dr. Janice Mendez Fernandez. The staff recipient was also Associate Dean of Henry C. Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences, Dr. David Schroeder. The undergraduate student recipient was Perry Alexander, a senior student health scientist with a minor in Spanish, and Asa Hussein, who is pursuing a master's degree in community psychology with a concentration in community research and evaluation, took home the Graduate Student Award. Honorable mentions were also honored, which included Dr. Zelda Rowland, Dr. Michael Rosie, and Leo Levine Aquino. The final accolade, the Philip H. and Susan S. Bartles Advocacy, Leadership, and Service Award, was awarded to the director of the Accessibility Resources Center, Linda Kopney-Okiki, for her efforts for nearly 40 years at the university. At the end of her speech, she delivered a call to action to the audience to, quote, "Not only celebrate our victories, but lock arms with one another and push forward to ensure that there is always hope for the future for everyone. I encourage each of you to be an advocate, to be a leader, and to be the voice for change," end quote. Other notable moments, including a rousing performance of "Lift Every Voice and Sing" by freshman music and sound recording major Maljani Pellissier, a moment of silence for Dr. Yasuhara by Assistant Provost for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Dr. Alvin Tran, the announcing of the winner of the inaugural Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Contest, awarded to Linaya Aquino from Colby Cathedral High School, and a captivating keynote presentation by New Haven alumnus Lyman Daniels. For a full recap, head over to chargerbulletin.com or pick up a copy at one of the newsstands around campus. We now go to Emily Lavoie for a breaking news update.
We interrupt the scheduled broadcast with a breaking news story. Tuesday evening, the Dean of Students' office sent out an email regarding the passing of a graduate student in their off-campus residence in the early morning hours. According to the email, the New Haven Police Department is handling the investigation. Sri Ram Kalindindi was a recent addition to the university community and began pursuing a master's degree in business analytics at the university this spring. The Dean of Students' office invited students to gather Tuesday evening to support each other in the wake of this loss. Plans for an on-campus celebration of life will be shared soon. Grief counseling is available through the Counseling and Psychological Services, and the Dean of Students' office is available to students. Students can contact CAPS by calling 203-932-7333. The Dean of Students' office is also available by phone and email, either by calling 203-932-7432 or emailing at deanofstudents@newhaven.edu. Faculty and staff can access support through the Employee Assistance Program, available on My Charger through the Human Resources page.
On January 13th, the Dean of Students' office sent out an email advising all members of the university to consider wearing masks indoors in public places. This comes after a recent uptick in COVID-19 cases and other winter illnesses across the state of Connecticut. According to the Center for Disease Control's weekly COVID-19 updates, with exception to the medium community levels in New London and Hartford counties, every county in Connecticut is currently at high status. The Charger Bulletin reached out to Diane Polo, Associate Director of Health, Wellness, Education, and Prevention in the Dean of Students' office, regarding any plans to further advertise these adversaries, to which she responded that the University of New Haven, quote, will continue to send updates to the university community as necessary to ensure everyone is informed of illnesses to be aware of and the best ways to protect themselves, end quote. The Dean of Students' Office and Health Services held a tabling event in Bartels on January 26, where they offered information on their office resources and handed out wellness bags. The university has not made any changes to their COVID policy regarding vaccination, co-verified, testing, isolation housing, or university-sponsored travel, and we remain in green status for the COVID risk status. If you are feeling under the weather or have been in close contact with someone who has contracted COVID-19, you can make an appointment to get tested by calling Health Services at 203-932-7079 or emailing them at healthservices@newhaven.edu.
Before the semester kicked off and students returned to campus, the university dance team was hard at work, which paid off when they traveled to New Jersey to compete and win at the Dance Team Union. Just over a decade old, the dance team made this their first college-level competition and walked away as regional champions, winning first place in their division, College Pom and Jazz. While the team can usually be found on the sidelines of sports games as a spirit group within the athletics department, this was an opportunity to showcase the talent of their team within their own sport. The dance team returns to sidelines for athletic events, but remains hard at work behind the scenes as they prepare for a virtual competition in March and the College Classic National in Orlando, Florida, during the month of April. You can stay up to date with the dance team by following them on Instagram and Facebook at New Haven Dance Team. To continue our sports coverage today, we go to Will Hing. What's going on with the sports this week, Will?
Thanks, guys, and welcome to the Charger Sports Report. My name is Will Hink. Let's get into it. Let's start off with our men's and women's basketball teams. Both headed out to Garden City last Tuesday on the first stop on a conference road trip against Adelphi. The women's team pulled out a win against the Panthers, 67-50. 19 of those points came at the hands of graduate student guard Cameron DeBose. The Chargers were able to dominate field goals in this game, 44 of their points coming from inside the paint. The men's team, however, had less success. Adelphi pulled off a massive upset against the Chargers, 74-60. But this road trip wasn't over yet, and the men's team looked for a rebound against Franklin Pierce last Saturday. But they found no such luck as the Chargers fell short again, 77-72 in a tightly contested matchup. This game wasn't all negatives for New Haven, though, as three separate Chargers were able to put up double-digit points against the Ravens. Junior forward Devontre Thomas, graduate student Quashawn Lane, and senior forward Ty Perry scored 19, 18, and 15 points respectively. After these two tough losses, the Chargers still sit at a nice spot in the conference in number 3. However, things are a lot tighter coming into 3 consecutive conference matchups at home. The women's team also played Franklin Pierce last Saturday and continued their winning streak, capturing their 5th straight win, 65-54. The Chargers again dominated the interior, putting up 48 points. Senior guard Cameron King put up 17 points in the offensive effort. If the women continue their hot streak coming into the upcoming conference homestand, they could really gain some major ground in the conference standings. The Chargers track and field teams participated in the Riverhawk Invitational last weekend. Unfortunately, New Haven came up short of taking home a medal, but there were some good showings from both men's and women's teams. On the men's team, sophomore Nathaniel Peters placed 6th in the 500 meters with a time of 1 minute, 4 seconds, .65. In the 4x400 relay, junior Niall Colson, senior Blake Jandreau, sophomore Jordani Delai, and junior Ryan Williams put up a time of 3 minutes and 20.47 seconds to place 7th in the event. The women's team didn't do as well, but they did have notable performances in shot put. Sophomore Isabel Robinson placed 12th, and freshman Vanessa Connolly placed 14th, with distances of 10.71 meters and 10.53 meters, respectively. Both teams will be participating in the New England Indoor Track and Field Championship next week. We'll see if they can take home some hardware then. And finally, the NFL playoffs are well on their way, with the NFC and AFC championships taking place last Sunday. First on the docket was the NFC Championship game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were coming off a game with tons of momentum and hype on their end. With how fast this team was rolling, only a brick wall could stop them, but that brick wall came in the form of the Eagles. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy was taken out early in this one with a wrist injury, but was brought back after his backup left with a concussion. This left the 49ers with a non-throwing QB on the road in a massive deficit. The Eagles looked dominant throughout the entire game. They'll look to carry this over to the Super Bowl in Arizona next week. The last game of the week was the AFC Championship game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. This game was a tight affair with both teams showing off their immense talent, but unfortunately, one team had to lose. In this case, it was the Bengals. It was a hard-fought game with both teams, but Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker sealed this game with a 45-yard field goal. The Chiefs will face the Eagles in Arizona in 2 weeks. That's the Charger Sports Report this week. I'll see you next time. Back to you at the desk.
The Spring 2023 Open Ad Drop deadline passed on Tuesday, January 24th. But what can students do if they want to drop a class after this deadline? After the ad drop period has ended, the only option to stop attending a class is to submit a course withdrawal form. The registrar's office encourages students to bookmark this form so they can find it easily. Other registrar-related forms can be found on the Registrar Forms page in My Charger. Unlike dropping a class during the open ad drop period, a course that students withdraw from will still show up on a student transcript, but it will not affect GPA. The course withdrawal deadline is Tuesday, March 21st, so there is still time to decide if you're going to withdraw. Withdrawal will only result in a full refund when a class is closed, full, canceled, or if the university rejects the enrollment application. A refund percentage beyond those conditions are decided by a timeline of dates. If you withdraw between certain date windows, there will be different eligibility for refund percentages. The longer you wait, the smaller refund percentage. The detailed withdrawal refund timeline is available on the university website at newhaven.edu. Coming up next, we have the start of Black History Month. Nominations for Faculty Excellence Awards are open, and the Campus Climate Survey is coming up soon. But first, we go to Justin Coviello with Student Life. What do you have for us this week, Justin?
With the spring semester now underway, now is as good a time as ever to visit the Career Development Center for any professional help. The CDC is holding workshops to assist the student body in all aspects of career development throughout the month of February, including resume and cover letter writing, interviewing, using LinkedIn, and searching for jobs and internships. All sessions will be held online via Zoom. To view dates and times for all events, and to find future events from the Career Development Center, be sure to check them out on Charger Connection. This past Friday in the Bucknell Theater, the Office of Graduate and International Student Life teamed up with the Asian American Student Union to put on a Lunar New Year celebration. The host for the evening was Pearlie Young, a recent alumna who graduated with a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology. Highlights of the celebration included a lion dance and kung fu performance from the Wudang Kung Fu Academy, a violin performance from Ying Na Lu, a song performance by Ye Shu, and a folk dance performance by Cheng's Dancing Group, and a solo dance by forensic science student Chris Bell Corsino. There was even a guest appearance from Dr. Henry C. Lee, a former professor from the forensic science department, who interacted with the audience by playing guessing games, Audience members receive red envelopes with money in them if they correctly guess things like how many minutes are in a year, who the person on screen was when Dr. Lee joined the university, and many more. If you want to attend more events hosted by OGISL and AASU, check their Charger Connection pages. The Muslim Student Association will be tabling in Bartels Hall on Friday, February 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to help educate the campus community on World Hijab Day. World Hijab Day has been celebrated every February 3rd since 2013, and the international organization broadcasts its mission statement as, quote, "Through awareness, education, and empowerment, we are committed to dismantling bigotry, discrimination, and prejudice against Muslim women," end quote. At their table, the Muslim Student Association will be handing out stickers and offering students the opportunity to try on hijab. For more information, email msa@newhaven.edu.
February marks the start of Black History Month, an annual celebration of achievements by African Americans and a time for recognizing their role and importance in human history. Every February dating from 1915, chosen primarily because the second week of the month coincides with the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, it is a time to go back and recognize the accomplishments African Americans have made throughout history. Keep up to date with Black History Month events around campus by checking Charger Connection.
Each year, the university community strives to recognize faculty members who go above and beyond for students. If you believe that there is a faculty member who is particularly deserving of recognition for their work as a teacher and a mentor, you can nominate them for a few different award categories. Categories include excellence in teaching by tenured or tenured track faculty, excellence in teaching by lecturer faculty, excellence in teaching by part-time instructors, excellence in online teaching pedagogy, excellence in diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and belonging, and excellence in experiential education. Full descriptions of each of these categories are available on My Charger in the Happening on Campus tab, where you can also find a link to the nomination form. All nominations are due by Friday, February 10th.
On Monday, February 6th, the 2023 Campus Climate Survey will be sent out to the student body. Each survey is sent out related to diversity and inclusion to get an idea of what is working and what is not on campus when it comes to these topics. The surveys will close on February 25th and only take 10 minutes. Completing the survey can make you eligible for a raffle to win one of these 3 first housing preference spots, allowing winners to get a first choice of housing for their housing group. Keep an eye out for the survey and make sure you fill out the form to help the campus community and get a chance to win preference housing. That's all we have for this week.
You can check out the latest Charger Bulletin newspaper on chargerbulletin.com or in newsstands around campus.
Stay up to date by following us on social media at Charger Bulletin.
Check out our link tree for access to the Horseshoe magazine. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Nick Amico.
And I'm Elisa Brocha. See you next time on Charger Bulletin News.